Good morning. It's the Thursday edition of TVC Breakfast. Thanks a lot for joining us again for yet another promising show this morning. I am Kemi Fola Adeyemo with Ibrahim Shita.
It's good to see you, Kemi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The rain is still pouring.
Yeah, it's a kind
the
of
nights
a
are still
drizzle.
cooler than usual.
Yeah, definitely.
And I can imagine what struggles it must take, to get up from bed, but, work.
I think struggling out of bed might not be a thing for us. It could be for so many other people because we are early risers. We are early risers, and your body clock will always tell you when to wake up. Sometimes I just wonder why I wake up before my alarm.
Oh no,
so I think it's just the body clock.
I think it's just the default now,
Right,
the default
right.
settings of the body. Good to see you again.
It's good to see you, Kemi.
All right, in the news at this time, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has sworn in his executive members. The 37-member team was inaugurated at the Adeyemi Bero auditorium at Alausa. And senior correspondent Adedoja Salam Adeniyi has more.
The inauguration of the new Lagos State members of the executive attracted members of the Federal House of Representatives, senators, and Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Mr. Dele Alaki, among others. On arrival of the governor, the commissioner nominees and special advisors take oath.
Do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance.
The inauguration is coming after rigorous screening by the Lagos State House of Assembly. Governor Sanwo-Olu says it's a painstaking effort selecting the members of the Executive Council.
I'm not unaware of the feelings in some quarters that the initial rejection of some nominees by the Lagos State House of Assembly necessitated the submission of revised list of nominees, signify a call for arms between executive and legislature. Certainly not. I reject such feeling in totality. I thank the Right Honourable Speaker and members of the Great House for their diligence, cooperation, and contribution in this manner. To the new Executive Council members, this period of cooperation and collaboration with the Lagos State House Assembly is one that you must continue to build on. The people of Lagos State demand and expect the very best from you.
After highlighting his achievements in various sectors through the Themes Plus agenda, in his first 100 days in office, the governor reels out the portfolios of the newly appointed cabinet members for the first time.
Honorable Commissioner for Transportation.
In a vote of assurance on behalf of the newly appointed cabinet members, Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Omotosho, promises to move the state forward.
I assure you on behalf of my colleagues that we will not disappoint you. We will surely make you proud. Once again, we are grateful for this remarkable opportunity.
As commissioners, they are expected to assist the governor in overseeing the affairs of the state and actualize his Themes Plus agenda.
This is the first time a cabinet list would generate so much interest in Lagos State. For those who scaled through, this did not come on a platter of gold. They waited for weeks after their nomination. They are the survivors of the Lagos State House of Assembly screening that generated a lot of mixed reactions among Lagosians. Adedoja Salam Adeniyi, TVC News, Lagos.
All right, that said, and the report caps it all up. The tensions, this cycle of cabinet formation. This report kinds of sums it all up. All the controversies, the tensions, rather unprecedented for a cosmopolitan state as Lagos. When you look at the trend so far, that this is not the first time. He's a returning governor after all, and the outing of his commissioner nominees didn't generate as much controversies as we saw this year. I mean, for a governor to send a list and for most of the names, many names, being rejected, were dropped, and then, okay, whatever happened in between, and then the names are brought back, and then the lawmakers now get to, screen all of them. They screened all of them initially, and so far we now have 37 commissioners. There were 38 apparently that were confirmed at the House of Assembly, but we understand that a name, one person, the 38th person didn't come. Perhaps
I think the person was actually announced. I mean, the person was actually,
that's the former LASEPA boss.
Yes, so making it 38 altogether, really. So it's just about 24 hours to the swearing in of the.
Well, the reports are still sketchy, but from what I have seen, of course, we'll wait and see what the coming days will pan out like. But we understand that I gather that Dolapo Fashawe was not there. So, but perhaps maybe my facts are still sketchy at the moment or not. But time will indeed tell. And the governor said some major areas, some talking points from what the governor said, talking about that he's mindful of the controversies that this list generated, raising speculations that maybe all may not be well between the legislature and the executive, saying that perhaps the battle line is drawn. But he says that's the beauty of democracy. That's also the beauty of the separation of powers, each arm being independent to one another. And of course, the issue of giving and taking, which has now culminated to the final men and women that will work in his cabinet. It's
a very good one. At least all the brouhaha, the halabalu, before we now have newly sworn in commissioners, 37, 38 of them. It's time for them to work because, that time when we had the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly saying that, okay, you are talking about technocrats. What's technocrats? You're also supposed to look at the fact that there are politicians among us, and we need to also take cognizance of the grassroots, so because by the time we go back again for re-election or we are seeking their votes, they must they must have the feeling that, yes, in the previous administration, they were part of they were carried along rather than just imposing people on them. So I think, that's, the fact that the GAC, prevailed upon the governor and the lawmakers,
right,
really settled the whole thing, because it was like, okay, fine, we had, even though it was denied, that the governor didn't support the speaker, the speakership bid of Mudashiru Obasa. But then the governor denied that it wasn't that. So maybe he wanted to take its own pound of flesh and all of that. So that's a story for another day, because now we have governance. We have new crop of new sets. Well, some of them are returning. I won't call them old wine in a new bottle, or neither
because I think they get to occupy their former position.
Yes,
well,
yes. For instance,
anyway.
yeah. But one thing that was striking was the fact that the portfolios were now announced on the swearing-in day, as if they were announcing the winners. It shouldn't supposed to be like that.
Also, so, from what we saw, generated
exactly
some rowdiness.
Some rowdy. You understand? So it wasn't supposed to be like that. You were being screened as commissioners. You were supposed to. What were the questions you asked?
Perhaps
you asked general questions
in line with their qualifications.
Right. We understand the fact that, okay, some had already held this portfolio. Some didn't sail through because of the fact that they were not able to defend their portfolio.
Past, works and legacy.
Exactly. Somebody like Sam Igube was not able to defend, according to the lawmakers, who was screened for about 1 hour. So were you not supposed to have had an idea of what portfolio you'll be holding? It's one thing. It obtains in other countries too, where you have someone, the man who wrote Gifted Hand. What's his name? Gifted Hands. This doctor who wrote
Ben Carson.
Right. He was given something environment in in the United States.
The US.
So it's like that.
Even with his formidable credentials.
Exactly. One thing is for them to supervise and get to work. Do what, because there's a lot of work to be done in Lagos State, a metropolitan city for that cosmopolitan city for that matter. So it's a lot of works to be done, a lot of carryovers from last term of the governor.